Hello, everyone. I'm Nick Reagan with Live 5 News, and today we're sitting down with Senator Ed Sutton to talk about the 2025 legislative session. Now, the legislature's only been in session for a couple of days now. You are a new face to the Senate. Talk to me about your first impressions so far.
Yes, sir. And not only a new face, but also in a new district. But it's busy up there. A lot of things happen fast, and especially as a freshman, you got to be ready to roll right away. And the big topic that has been in the news a lot this week certainly has been the voucher debate. We got into that day one, so it's going to be a busy session.
Yeah, you're talking about those school voucher, the school voucher program that the Supreme Court basically said was unconstitutional, and now Republicans are moving back in to try and make it happen. What's your initial assessment on all this? Where do you guys stand?
Sure, absolutely. And the Supreme Court's actually ruled twice that this is unconstitutional because our state constitution says that public money cannot go to private schools, primary schools. So now they're trying to come after the lottery fund. I have a big problem with that because year one, if this bill passes and goes into effect, it's going to take 23% of our lottery funds. And the State Lottery Commission will tell you we're seeing a decline in lottery. They're projecting the lottery fund over the next 3 years, every year is going to decline by 11%. So if folks want to say we should run government like a business, I don't think we should put additional 23% cost on top of funds. But there's two fundamental problems with that as well. Number one, public money belongs to public schools. We should not be breaking down that separation of church and state. I'll say to religious institutions, there is no government money in this world that doesn't come with strings attached. So if you want government in your church, take these vouchers, but there's going to be consequences later down the road, certainly with that.
That's just one of the big issues. Again, we've only had 3 days of the legislature, full days of the legislature. We've already tackled or started to tackle the voucher program, which has been going on for years. But also, we've gotten some conclusion on this mysterious money that was found a few years back, something like $1.8 billion in a random account in the state's budget. We found out that money doesn't actually exist.
Yep.
They call it an accounting error. And now there are calls for Curtis Loftus to stand down, and there is actually a bill introduced to start those impeachment processes. That bill introduced by Representative Heather Bauer. Now, Democrats are pretty firm on this. They want to see him impeached or removed. He still has the confidence of the governor, and Republicans are kind of waffling on what should happen. Where do you stand? What should happen?
So I was with Representative Bauer yesterday at the news conference, and I think it's time for Treasurer Loftus to step down. I think calling it an accounting error when it's $1.8 billion is a polite way to put it. I think we have either an integrity or an incompetence problem here. And last year, under oath, Treasurer Loftus told us that he was safeguarding that $1.8 billion and that it had earned $200 million in interest that he gave back to us. Well, now we know that money's not real, so what's going on here? Is that incompetence, or do we have an integrity issue? And I also want to follow that paper trail. If he, under oath, is saying he gave us $200 million, where is it? I want to know, is that obviously it's not real, so that's a serious issue. I'll also say the nature in which he's responded to this has certainly not been helpful at all. So I think it's time to bring in a new team and let's get to the bottom of this and stop the theatrics of showing up to the Senate hearing and throwing your pen at somebody. That's not helpful at all when we're trying to find taxpayer money. So it's time to change course there.
Further looking to the future, what can we expect next week in the legislature, either from your colleagues or any bills that you plan to introduce?
Sure, absolutely. So the next week is going to be committee meetings. So we won't be meeting in the full Senate, but every single day we'll have our committee meetings, which of course that's where a lot of bills begin. I'll tell you one of the personal bills that I've already filed. I've got a few more coming. Is speaking of bipartisanship, Senator Davis and I down from the Beaufort County, we are sponsoring a child care tax credit bill, and that's going to allow families to keep more of their tax dollars at home based on the current limit right now in the state is about $3,000 you can claim per child on tax credit. We want to increase that to $12,000 and keep more money back in working families' pockets.
All right, Senator Ed Sutton, thank you, sir, for joining me.
Yep.